I don't think y'all have ever actually even met Charlie. He is very unsociable. He does not like to be around people at all. In fact, just since we built the porch, he is beginning to tolerate us and actually even come up here and eat while we're sitting here. And he's just very skittish, and he's just now beginning to warm up to us. So Charlie is a little over a year old, and we call him Charlie because you can see his little mustache. He looks like Charlie Chaplin mustache, and he's actually cross-eyed too. He is the funniest cat. But I'm hoping he's going to warm up to us and get sweeter and just let us be able to love on him. But for right now, we just give him his space and let him learn that he can trust us. We have gotten so much done around here on the farm the past few months, and it is a beautiful, glorious November morning. So I thought this would be the perfect time for us to take a walk around the farm together and just show you guys the progress that we've made and show you everything that's going on in the gardens in November. We have finally finished the porch build.
Well, this is the last screw. Oh my gosh. Bending over on your knees and your back. Ah! Thank God I'm about done.
About done. And then the porch is complete, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Hey, just drill it.
It is so wonderful. I am loving our porch. I'm going to step down here so that we can walk up the stairs and I can give you the full tour of our completed porch. I've just decorated the stairs here with some of the pumpkins that we grew. My mom's outdoor furniture has been in storage, so I went over and got it, and we're just borrowing it until she can purchase her new home. And then I hope that we can buy one of those outdoor sectional sofas to go right here. That is the plan, but I'm grateful to be able to use her furniture right now. And this is just the iron table and chairs that I've had forever, over 20 years, I guess. It really needs to be repainted, but kind of out of time. And this is my table that I had. It used to be our dining room table years ago. And then I had the table in my study, and that's where I did all my drawing and drafting and stuff. But we got a sleeper sofa chair, like a chair and a half, to go in the study for when we have guests, and for my mom, when she comes, she has a place to sleep So I brought this table out here in the chairs, and it's working fine right now, but the weather is going to ruin it. So this is just a temporary thing too, until I can get a real nice outdoor farm style table. And that's my kitchen windows. More pumpkins over here in the corner. I've just got them sitting over here. I've got pumpkins everywhere, waiting for Renee to get here, and we'll use them to decorate for the wedding. We've got our lights hung all the way around the porch. We've got these cool Edison style, market style lights all the way around our porch. And at nighttime, when those lights are on and all these candles that I've got everywhere are going, it is just a magical place to be. It really is. And then the view from up here is awesome. I can see the goats out there. I can see Champ. I can see the chickens, the garden shed, the potager garden. We can see down in the field, and that's usually where we watch deer. Jean's got like a food plot out there, and they come out there and we watch the deer, turkey, all kinds of wildlife. And then, of course, our beautiful creek view. So we are loving, loving, loving our porch. And I absolutely love to be able to walk out my front door, come right down these stairs, and walk right into my potager garden. I love having the garden in the front yard. I absolutely love it. I can see it out my kitchen window, and I can just walk right out here and harvest whatever I want for our meals, and I love it. But before we take a walk through the potager and I show you all the wonderful things that's happening there, let's take a little quick walk around the house, around the cottage gardens, and let me just show you what's blooming and what's kind of showing out right now in November. We actually decided to move our fire pit in front of the porch. I initially wanted it up on the porch where that iron table is, but I can't put a real fireplace up there, a real fire pit, because you know, the sparks fly out and it'll burn my porch up, and we definitely don't want that. So we decided to build this little fire pit right here in front of the porch. Now, at first I struggled with that a little bit because, you know, aesthetically I didn't know how that was gonna look, to have a fire pit out here in front of the porch, right here by my garden, right here in the main pathway and walkway. But I absolutely love having it here. And we've had a fire pit in the backyard. We've had this same fire pit, we just moved it. We had it right down there, way down there at the creek, and we loved it down there. Like, we loved it, but we never utilized it. Like, we didn't use it very much. So I feel like by having this fire pit up here in the front yard right off of the porch, this is really gonna get used, and we're gonna enjoy it a lot more with family and with friends. So that's what we did, and I'm on the lookout for some really nice Adirondack chairs I wanna put around the fire pit. So these are the new beds that we made around the porch. And if you didn't see my video on that, go back and check out the video, 7 steps to build a new cottage garden bed. Now these are the blueberries, the dwarf blueberries, and we transplanted these from around the front of the house, and they're doing pretty good. They're doing really good. It's the beauty of transplanting things in the fall. They can handle it much better. And look at this fall color on these blueberries. One of the reasons why I just love this plant so much, y'all hear me talk about it a lot, but it's just year-round interest. Spring, it has beautiful flowers. Summer, it has wonderful little blueberries. Fall, it has this beautiful foliage color. And then winter, it's still green. It's an evergreen. These are all babies, but it's gonna look good as they grow. And we're coming around to the back of the house. I still haven't got anything in these beds yet. I just can't decide. I tried a few things, but they just didn't do well. So I'm gonna focus on that this spring, finding something perfect to go in these little circular beds we added. This camellias have been beautiful. This is my Pieris Japonica temple bells, and it is so gorgeous. I had 2 other ones right here and they died, so I had to replace them, and all I could find was the small ones. So looks a little funny, but it'll be okay. They'll grow. But one of the reasons why I love this little plant so much, look at the contrast in the foliage and in the little buds. Isn't it beautiful? I popped in some little ajuga back here, which is a little ground cover. Dark purple. I believe this one's called Caitlin's Giant, because it's got the bigger leaf, and it's going to be a really pretty contrast with this Pieris as it fills out. And of course, I love my heuchera or coral bells and my creeping Jenny together. So showy. these empty spots right here and over in here, that's where those dwarf blueberries were. And they were just taking over my quietness rose right here. They got way too big for that spot. They were taking over my beautiful quietness. It's doing so much better, even just since I've moved them. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to come back this spring, and I think I'm going to add some little dwarf loropetalums or something. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to add something that's going to stay really low in these spots. That is one thing that I definitely want to encourage you guys about today. If you're not happy with your garden, like if you're not happy with a plant where it's at, if it's too big for that spot, or if it's not big enough, or if it's just not doing well, or if you just don't even like it, or you don't like the way the color is working with the other colors around it, don't be afraid to move that plant. Don't be afraid I spent $20 on this plant and it's gonna die if I move it, or whatever your reason is for not wanting to move it. Don't be afraid to move it. Just keep working on your garden, move things, play around with things until you get your garden exactly the way you want it, until you're super happy with how your garden looks and feels, and you're just pleased with your garden. Don't be afraid to move something. And that's the wonderful thing about fall. It is a perfect time to transplant and to move plants and to rearrange things, and then you can come back in the spring and you can add back to your beds. So just my encouragement for the day, don't be afraid to move something if you're not happy with it. Don't be afraid to yank it if you just don't even like it. Share it, give it to a friend, give it to somebody else who would love to have it, rather than you having it in your garden and because you paid $5 or $10 for it, you don't want to get rid of it. Just share it with somebody else and pull it out and keep working on your garden until you're super happy with it. This is a little bobo hydrangea right here. You can see it right there. And I moved it up. It was back there more, so I moved it up, and I'm gonna add 2 more to it, spring there and over there, and just kind of make a circle with it and mimic the circle of this bed border here. And that way it'll be more full. That one bloomed beautifully this year, but it just kind of looked, I don't know, lonely. And I like to plant things in masses and in groups. I think it makes more of a statement. So I moved that up, and I'm gonna add a few more to it just so it'll be more of a impact. Now, some of you may remember that we had a Yoshino cherry tree right here. And when we built this porch, we decided we really didn't want that cherry tree there because it was completely obstructing the view. It was diseased, and it wasn't healthy. It was growing funny, and it just was not a very healthy tree. So we went ahead and yanked it out, and I don't know what I'm gonna do right here yet, but that cherry tree really needed to go anyway, just because it was diseased and it just was not a healthy, happy tree. But my limelights are pretty much finished. They're all dried up, and I'm leaving them because I love these dried, even though they're brown and they're spent. I love the dried hydrangeas, so I'm just leaving them long as I can. Okay, you guys, let's take a walk through the potager garden. This garden is looking so beautiful.